Coach Garber here. I'm here to talk today about if you want an A, how do you get an A in Garber's class, right? That's the key. And I think, by the way, this is a choice, right? There's no doubt. I think in my class, I don't think the material is that difficult. And actually, my philosophy of teaching, if you would, is let's boil it down to simple things. In a way, we kind of make it like a cookbook, right? Follow the cookbook, and you're going to be in good shape. So I don't think it's that the concepts are that difficult to grasp. It's just a lot of work. There's no doubt about it, right? I believe that, consistent work, day in, day out, is what leads to greatness, right? So that's a big part of my class. And so if you want to get an A, let's make the choice today. Do it. And, okay, great. What's the path to get the A in my class? Okay, let me tell you that. Every time I have an exceptional student in my class, I go over with them like, how'd you do it? Right? Like, what did you, I've had people get over 100% in my class, right? Exceptional. And it's not because they're brilliant. There's just a formula to just totally rock my class. How about I share it with you? Okay. So you know that basically before every class, you need to watch the YouTube playlist, the YouTube videos. You come to class, you take a quiz, and then we do something, right? And then we've got some project work or some work, and then we take an exam, and that process repeats over and over and over again. So here's how the great ones do it. There's a girl that I'm actually thinking about because she was just one of the best students I've ever had, and this was her system to a T. So the first thing that you do is every week I give you learning objectives. So I asked her, I said, hey, how did you do so well in my class? She says, well, the first thing is I read over your learning objectives before I watch a single video. She goes, I even write them down by hand because I lock it in. When I write it down, it becomes exact. I said, okay, so you know what the learning objective. Yep. So then she goes through and she would watch the videos. And she said, I paid great attention. She said, because you'll have a slide up there and you might have a phrase or a word or a picture, but you give some decent amount of detail. I made sure I got all the details done. I took great notes. And if I got tired, I would just stop on a video. A lot of my videos, there might be 7 videos that are 5 minutes long. She goes, so I might watch 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden if I caught myself getting tired and couldn't pay attention, I'd just take a 10-minute break, get a cup of coffee, come back at it. But when she was watching the videos, meticulous notes, paying attention, big time, right? I saw her notes. She showed me her notes. And I was like, whoa, those are actually better than, I actually asked for her notes because they were better than mine. All right, so that's the second thing. Then, when she was done with those videos, she was done with the notes, she actually took out the sheet of paper with the learning objectives, took the notes away, and then tried to write out answers to the learning objectives. And if she felt that she could kind of go from memory, right? And she couldn't do it, right? So then she'd go back through her notes and she'd read up, I said, okay, got it. So turn the notes back over and then write out answers to the learning objective. She'd go to the next learning objective. She would kind of free flow from what she had from memory, and then she'd kind of go back to her notes. Oh, I nailed it. Great, okay. Go to the next one. So she actually used the learning objectives like I intended them to be done. So great. And then she would just kind of get the studying in. Awesome. She'd come to class and she would rock the quizzes, right? And she she won the quiz. She almost had a perfect score on the quizzes. The other thing too is I will let you challenge quiz questions. If there's a bad quiz question or it's worded weird or you can write me an email and challenge that. And so she did. She challenged them and she was always right. And she would show me her notes. I'm like, oh man, that's bad wording. Sorry about that. Give her the points. Okay. So she was great with that. When she came to class, she was the same way. Then what she did, and by the way, here's the other thing too, is that so you get the knowledge outside of class, but then you got to come to class and you have to apply that knowledge. You have to use the knowledge from the videos to do something. You have to take that knowledge from the videos and now I'm going to critique or I'm going to evaluate somebody else doing it, because that's how we do things in business. So she knew when she would study, and even the learning objectives kind of will guide you in this way, but it wasn't about memorizing for memorization. That's meaningless almost, right? But she would learn it, and as she was learning, she goes, now how would I do that concept? How would I apply that concept? How would I watch somebody else and evaluate somebody else doing You see where I'm going. So it wasn't like just memorization. It was, let me understand the concepts and then instantly applied, and instantly she would work on those things. So anyhow, we get to class, there's those parts, and then she would do really well in class because she was so prepared. There you go. I think too, when it came to, she said when it came to exams, what she would do too is at the end of the week, right? But she would go on a Friday morning and she would get up and she would kind of write over her notes again. She would study those notes one more time, right? So the forgetting curve is what you're going to learn about in the next class. But she kind of defeated the forgetting curve by, again, copying her notes over. One of the things that she was awesome with, and she understood this principle, is there's a difference between reading over your notes and going, yeah, that makes sense. They should, they're your notes, right? But there's a difference between reading them over and actually knowing it. And so what her process was, she would read over the notes on a page of notes, and then she'd copy over the notes. And it was that process of thinking about it and actually writing out that we know the brain works that way. We know that it's a very active, great way to learn. It sticks more when we do that. So that was part of her thing too. She got to the exams. Did she have to study? No, she was prepared, right? It was more like reviewing the material, not learning it yet. And she did just incredible in my class. So if you want to get an A, that's the process, right? And it's a tried and true process. And there you go. I would also say too, what I've done in Top Hat is the learning objectives are all there, and I've kind of put it in that order in her process. Here are the learning objectives, then I put the videos in there, and then after the videos, you can write out your answers in Top Hat, right? They're all free. Now, they're not going to be graded answers, but you can, when you go back to prepare for the assignments and or prepare for the exam, you can go back in and read those. Now, we have promotion points in my class. I actually didn't talk about this in the syllabus section. I'm going to talk about it now. But we have promotion points, and I think there's a big bunch of points. And how do we get those? It's not just me giving you 100 points. It's me looking at and saying, did you do the work, right? Did you put the time in? So one of the ways that I'm going to assess are people really preparing is I'm going to go look at your answers for those. Now, I might kind of grade them on an individual basis. Boy, this person is doing everything they can to excel in my class. Look at those learning objectives, and that is going to be a component of promotion points. In addition to those, it'll be, how well do you do in other certain parts of the class? Are you engaged? That sort of thing. But one of the ways I'm going to look, are you preparing and are you engaged, is did you take advantage of writing down the learning objectives? So, all right, my friends, I hope this helps. But do me yourself a favor. Make a choice today. Either you want the A or you don't. That's your choice. But then just be willing to put in the price and take the road to get the A. And I hope that I've just shared with you what I think is the best way to get an A in my class. And go get them. Good luck. We'll see you soon.